Hello, this is my third assignment of the spoken English, that is read out story 5 minutes continuously. So the story title is A Merchant and His Donkey. So one beautiful spring morning, a merchant loaded his donkey with bags of salt to go to the market. In order to sell the salt, the merchant and his donkey were walking along together. They had not walked far when they reached a river on the way. Unfortunately, the donkey slipped and fell into the river as it scrambled up the bank of the river. It noticed that the bags of salt loaded on his back had become lighter. There was nothing the merchant could do except return home, where he loaded his donkey with more bags of salt. As they reached the slippery river bank again, the donkey fell into the river, this time deliberately. Thus, the salt was wasted again. By now, the merchant knew the donkey's trick. He wanted to teach the animals a lesson as he returned home, and the second time with the donkey, the merchant loaded bags of sponges on its back. The duo set out on their trip to the market a third time. On reaching the river, the donkey very cleverly fell into the water again, but now instead of the load becoming lighter, it became heavier. The merchant laughed at the donkey and said, "You foolish donkey, your trick had been discovered. You should know that you cannot fool anyone too many times." Now the second story is Change Yourself, Not the World. Long ago, people lived happily under the rule of king. The people of the kingdom were happy as they led a very prosperous life with an abundance of wealth and no misfortune. Once the king decided to go visiting places of historical importance and pilgrim centers at the distant places. He decided to travel by foot to interact with his people. People of distant places were very happy to have a conversation with their king. They were proud that their king had a kind heart. After several weeks of travel, the king returned to the palace. He was quite happy that he had visited many pilgrim centers and witnessed his people leading a prosperous life. However, he had one regret. He had intolerable pain in his feet, as it was his first trip by foot covering a long distance. He complained to his minister that the roads weren't comfortable and that they were very stony. He could he could not tolerate the pain. He said that he was very much worried about the people who had to walk along those roads, as it would be painful for them too. Considering all this, he ordered his servant to cover the roads in the whole country with leather so that the people of his kingdom can walk comfortably. The king's minister was stunned to hear his order, as it would mean that thousands of cows would have to be slaughtered in the order to get sufficient quantity of leather, as it would cost a huge amount of money also. Finally, a wise man from the ministry came to the king and said that he had another idea. The king asked what the alternative was. The minister said, "Instead of covering the roads with the leather, why don't you just have a piece of leather cut in the appropriate shape to cover your feet?" The king was very much surprised by his suggestion and applauded the wisdom of the minister. He ordered a pair of leather shoes for himself and requested all the countrymen also to wear shoes. Moral of the story is, instead of trying to change the world, we should try to change ourselves. The third story title is Unhelpful Friends. Bunny Rabbit lived in the forest. He had many friends. He was proud of his friends. One day, Bunny Rabbit heard the loud barking of the wild dogs. He was very scared. He decided to ask for help. He quickly went to his friend Deer. He said, "Dear friend, some wild dogs are chasing me." Can you chase them away with your sharp antlers? The deer said, That is right, I can, but now I am busy. Why don't you ask Bear for help? Bunny Rabbit ran to the bear. My dear friend, you are very strong. Please help me. Some wild dogs are after me. Please chase them away, he requested to the bear. The bear replied, I'm sorry, I'm hungry and tired. I need to find some food. Please ask the monkey for help. Poor Bunny went to the monkey. The elephant, the goat, and all his other friends. Bunny felt sad that nobody was ready to help him. He understood that he had to think of a way out by himself. He hid under a bush. He lay very still. The wild dogs did not find the bunny. They went chasing other animals. Bunny Rabbit learns that he had to learn to survive by himself, not depending on his unhelpful friends. The moral of the story is it is better to rely on yourself than depend on others. The next story is Greedy Boy. Sam and Tom were identical twins. They were so identically that even their mother found it difficult to distinguish one from the other, at least during their initial days on earth. However, they were very difficult from each other when it came to everything other than their appearance. Sam had no friends while Tom was a great friendship maker. Sam loved sweets, but Tom loved spicy food and distated sweets. Sam was mommy's pet and Tom was daddy's pet. While Sam was generous and selfless, Tom was greedy and selfish. As Sam and Tom grew up, their father wanted to share his fortune equally amongst them. However, Tom did not agree and he argued that whoever proved to be more intelligent and strong would have to get a bigger share of the wealth. Sam agreed. Their father decided to organize a competition between the two. He asked the two sons to walk as long as they could and return home before sunset. The wealth would be divided in proportion to the distance covered. As a rule of the competition, they were not permitted to carry a watch to keep a track of the time. The following day, Sam and Tom set out to walk. It was a rather sunny day. Sam walked slowly and steadily, while Tom broke into a sprint as he bent on winning the race and also winning a greater portion of his father's wealth. Sam knew that it would be ideal to walk as far as possible till noon and start for home at noon, as it would take the same amount of time to walk back home. Knowing this, Sam decided to turn back for home at noon so as reach home on time. However, Tom, with his greed to earn more wealth, did not attempt to return home even after mid-noon. He walked twice as long as Sam and thought he would still be able to return home before sunset. He hurried back when he saw the sun turn orange. Unfortunately, he could not even make it halfway home as the sun started to set. Slowly, darkness engulfed his path and he had to drag his tired feet back home. He had lost the race only because of his greed. Greed leads to loss. So, this is all about my third assignment, and I am ending my third assignment as well. Thank you.